Welcome everyone to today's event, Fear and Love in Supervision, our interview with Robin Shohet. A very warm welcome to you, Robin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for asking me.
It's great to have you here, and a warm welcome to everyone who's joining us online. I can see the chat room is already very busy. There's lots happening in there. So please feel free to use the chat room to pass comments or questions to Robin and I. I guess we're hoping it's going to be really interactive today. And Saz is also in the chat room, so if you're having any difficulties getting in, just pop Saz an email and she'll help you out with that. So, Robin, to start our interview off, seeing we're all here virtually, can you give us a sense of where you're located geographically, please?
Yeah, I'm in a community called the Findhorn Foundation in the north of Scotland. I look out my window and I see two windmills, so it's part of an eco-village. And the weather is a really nice evening, mild, bit of wind because I can see the things going around. Yeah, and that's where I am.
That sounds like a nice view. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds lovely. Well, it's great to get a sense of where you are up here in Scotland. And can I also ask you, well, what has been your professional journey up to now, Robin? Can you give us a sense of what's happened for you to arrive here?
Gosh. Well, I did a degree in psychology, and then I taught for a while and went off to India and did all of the hippie things that one did in the 70s. And then I came back from India quite depressed and realized I needed therapy, and basically got into therapy and started in a therapeutic community for people who came out of psychiatric hospital. And that was a really, really good experience because it was 24 hours a day with it being residential. And I learnt so much about groups and counselling, and I had regular supervision, and that was the key. I think I'd have probably left. It really held me, and that was from 76 to 79, and then I've been freelance since 79.
Wow, that's a long time to be freelance. Yeah, incredible.
I tell people I'm unemployable. Basically, I probably only worked for about 6 years of my life for somebody else. But one of the things I was just thinking about that is that anybody who I supervise immediately within a couple of years becomes freelance too. So,
So it's infectious, the freelance thing.
absolutely, it's a wonderful way to work.
Mm, mm.
I choose my work and I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sounds fantastic. And I'm just noticing what you're saying about your experience in the therapeutic community, that your experience of supervision then was,
Mm.
at that point in your life, was really significant in you doing the work and staying there.
I'm sure I'd have left. It was so demanding. I mean, it was exciting, but it was very, very demanding. And there was something about the regular, it was 1.25 hours every week without fail. That was a big commitment. And so, in a way, my teaching supervision and taking supervision groups and such like is a way of passing on what I got for myself. It was just like I want people to work well. I want them to be happy at work. I want them to be fulfilled, and supervision really contributes to that.
Yeah. So that's your contribution to help other people to sustain the work and
Yeah,
have as a good time as you, I guess, in their work.
I hope. I'd love. I mean, if they have as good time as me, then they're having a ball.
Fantastic. Well, that's a lovely overview of your professional life, and I guess we're not even scratching the surface there, but it's good to get a sense of where you've been. I guess the interview, though, is around the statement of fear and love and supervision. I mean,
Yeah.
what an exciting statement to make. Can I ask you just, where's that coming from? What's behind that for you, Robin?
Gosh. Well, I can give you the immediate stimulus. It's something called the Course in Miracles that says that everything is either love or fear, and that basically it's going to sound so strange coming out with it just like this, but I'll say it anyway. Basically, our true nature is love, and that we've actually managed to forget it. And then we go into all these different ways of being frightened. And what I wrote in the chapter on in Passionate Supervision is that fear actually has many different forms: competitiveness, boredom, things that don't look like fear, judgments, and so on. And I'm encouraging people to really notice when they switch off and why they switch off. And these to me are all symptoms of fear. And that I do that because you could say, oh, what are you digging around in there? Because I believe that all this stuff is just covering love. That you are love, whether you like it or not.
Like it's our true essence or nature.
Yeah, that's right. And even if it's not true, it's a great hypothesis.
Yes, like what a wonderful place to work from, true or not true. Yeah.
And it overlaps with something called appreciative inquiry, which is what you do is you look an appreciative inquiry, and I really recommend appreciative inquiry to people. Google it. Is you're just looking for the best. You're always looking at what works rather than what doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, so that's really worth Googling then, appreciative inquiry.
Yeah.
And based on your hypothesis that our true essence is love, well, that's what you're searching out, you're rooting out in someone?
No, I'm rooting out the non-love.
Okay.
You can't root out the love, it's already there.
Yeah.
You'd remove the obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
all the judgments, the fears, the anxieties, all the neurotic stuff. And you ask people to investigate that really, and it's hard for people to be in touch with it because we don't recognise it as fear, and I mean even to say fear to people could put them off. Shame is a big one actually. When I think about that, to me I use fear as a generic term for different emotions like shame, anxiety, and so on.
Yeah. So like in the hypothesis, then fear is everything else that isn't
That's
love.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a question already in the chat room, and maybe I guess it kind of catches what we're talking about here.
Okay.
I wonder what Robin feels are the key issues to encourage supervisees to be truly honest and vulnerable in supervision.
Oh, what a lovely question. Is that it? Sorry, did I interrupt you? No, that was it. Gosh. Say it again, because I liked it, but I just want to hear it again.
Okay. I wonder what Robin feels are the key issues to ensure and encourage supervisees to be truly honest and vulnerable in supervision.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that the supervisor needs to be honest and vulnerable. It's like you can't encourage somebody else to be something that you're not yourself.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn it around a bit, is how can we encourage the supervisor to be honest and vulnerable? That's the first thing that comes to mind. Okay, I've got a really interesting exercise. So I didn't know I was going to go here, but I will.
Okay.
I get people into threes: supervisor, supervisee, and observer. And after 5 minutes, each person, the observer calls time, and each person writes down what I'm not saying right now is, and I'm not saying it because. Okay? And then what happens is that because people don't realize that they're withholding, they don't do it consciously, the exercising, stopping and writing it down brings things to consciousness, and then they choose whether they share or not. And my experience is that every time I've done it, that the relationship has deepened when people have said what they're not saying. So I'm giving a practical answer, but it's a really interesting exercise, and you can actually do it anytime, anywhere, with anyone. What I'm not saying right now is, and I'm not saying it because. And